This is a game between Maxime Vachier Lagrave and Magnus Carlsen on the Sinquefield Cup in the last round, and Magnus Carlsen needed to win this game in order to get to the first place or tied for first place. Alright, here we go. E4, C5, Knight F3, Knight C6, Bishop B5. This is the Sicilian Rosolino. White's idea is to trade its light squared bishop against one of black's knight and give black doubled pawns. G6, bishop takes C6. When you go double pawns, it does not mean that it's always a bad thing. For example, here black earns the pair of bishops for the damaged pawns. And after b takes c6, now black gets an open b file for its rooks. So now d4. When you first look at this move, you might want to ask, why would white help black get rid of its doubled pawns? White is just trading d4 pawns so it can gain more space. The more space you have in chess, the more area where you can move your pieces around. Okay, so c takes d4, queen takes d4, and f6. This is against the three general rules when you are starting a chess game, which are controlling the center squares, moving your pieces out. Preferably, you want to move your knights then first. You want to move your knights first, then bishops, and king safety. Black is controlling the middle, but is neglecting its piece development. But look at this move. This move prevents white from playing the immediate e5 to gain more space. So we'll see. What happens if black plays knight f6? And this was played before. Followed e5, knight d5, castle, and bishop g7, preparing to castle. Queen h4, white is preparing to play bishop h6 to exchange the affiancado bishop. h6 to prevent white from playing bishop to h6. c4, threatening to take the knight. Knight c7. Black wants to maneuver its knight to e6 to gain more control of the central squares. c3, knight e6, bishop e3, queen c7. Black is threatening to take the e5 pawn. Queen e4, castle, c5. Looks like white has a lot of space advantage in the center, but do not forget that if you have the pair of bishops, then you need to figure out how to open up the position. After rook ba, b4, black has a nice move, d6. Remember, when you have the pair of bishops, you want to open up the center. You want to open up the position. And this is black's first strike in the middle since starting the game with the first move, c5. c takes d6, e takes d6, e takes d6, and after queen takes d6, black is forking the knight and the pawn on d4 with its rook. So after rook ac1, rook takes b4, and black was able to win this game. And it's a game between Pavlidis and Mamedov in Tallinn 2016. Let's go back. So after white played queen takes d4, black played f6. Magnus played f6. Okay. So castle, d6. Black's fourth pawn push in 7 moves. Again, black is delaying his development of pieces to control the critical e5 square. c4, threatening maybe to play c5 to gain more space. c5, queen d3, and what about queen d5? I mean, queen d5 looks natural. It controls the d5 to g8 diagonal, and white is also threatening to capture the rook on a8. Okay, black can play rook b8 with the idea of playing bishop b7. Queen, let's say white plays knight c3, black plays bishop b7, then after queen e6, then queen d7, queen takes, king takes d7, forcing white to exchange the queens, and black still has the pair of bishops to activate. Let's go back to the game, to what happened in the game. Queen d3 after c5, MVL played queen d3, and now bishop g7 and b3. And if you look at this one, looks bad for white, because why are you opening this diagonal, the HA to A1 diagonal for black's bishop, right? The point is, here Magnus played knight h6. What if black plays f5 and white has this very nice move, e5? Okay, because the knight c3 is a blunder. F takes e4, queen takes e4, then white just loses a piece. So white has this nice move, e5, shutting down black's bishop diagonal. But after d takes e5, queen takes d8, king takes d8, bishop b2. Now, white will be able to gain the pawn back, and at the same time, now black has 1, 2, and 3 pawn islands. And remember, former world chess champion from Cuba, named Raul Capablanca, once stated, in the endgame, whoever has the most pawn islands loses. Okay, so let's go back to the actual game. So instead of playing f5, black played knight h6, and white played knight c3 to develop pieces. Rook b8, bishop b2, castle, rook ae1, knight f7. At last, black was able to get his king safe, and its knight's close to the middle. h4. White is trying to gain more space advantage on the king side. Rook b7. And this is a mysterious looking rook move. Maybe Magnus was thinking that if white wants to open up the position on the king side, his rook on b7 is ready to transfer to the king side, where it is needed for defensive and maybe attacking purposes. Let's carry on. h5, g5, knight h2. Here, white is planning to play g4 to close the position. And keep in mind that when you have the two knights, you want to keep the position closed. After knight e5, black is threatening to capture white's queen on d3. And it also stops white from playing g4. Queen g3, king h8 to get out of that pin. f4, g takes f4, bishop takes f4, and rook g8. Rook belongs to an open file. And rook e3, here you go. So maybe white was over defending the knight on c3, and also white may be planning to play queen e1 followed by rook g3 to challenge black's rook on g8. Knight c6, planning to go to knight d4, where it controls more squares, important squares, f3 and e2. And also, black is threatening to play e5 to trap the white's bishop on f4. Queen f2, f5. Again, when you have the pair of bishops, you want to try to open up your position. And this is the critical middle game position, because white needs to figure out how to deal against black's multiple threats of bishop takes e3, f takes e4, or e5. Knight f3. Okay, this was a mistake, but after he takes f5, bishop takes f5, rook g3, and the position is playable for both sides. So in the game, white played knight f3, and black captured the knight on c3, removing the defender of the e4 pawn and opening up the g file. So black can double on the g file and attack white's king. Rook takes c3, e5. Good move. So white has many moves here. In the game, MVL played rook d3. But what happens if white just plays, like for example, bishop h6? So after f4, black is planning to trap white's bishop on h6 by playing queen f6. And what about bishop c1? After bishop c1, the same thing, f4. Closing up the position, and black is ready to double on the g file by playing rook b to g7. And what about bishop h2? With bishop h2, the same thing. Black will still double on the g file with a vicious attack. So MVL played rook d3. White needs to white decided to give up the bishop to prevent black from gaining space advantage on the king side with the move f4. So e takes f4, queen b to check, rook b to g7, h6. You have to always want to attack the pin piece. F takes e4 is a fork. Rook d2, e takes f3, h takes g7, rook takes g7, rook takes f3, queen g5, pressuring the g2 pawn, rook d f2, pressuring the f4 pawn, knight d4, rook takes f4, bishop f5. And this is a nice move because it shuts down black slide squared. It shuts down white's open file, open f file. d4. White is trying to get rid of the defender of its knight on d4 because after c takes b4 is a blunder, then queen takes d4. So after b4, black played bishop e6, threatening to take the pawn on c4 at the same time, also preparing to meet white's check on f8 with bishop to g8 shield. Rook f8, check, bishop g8, cover, d takes c5, d takes c5, queen b8, queen e3, planning to check the white's king with knight e2, queen d6. Let's for example, let's just say white played a waiting move a3. I just want to show you black's threat, knight e2, king h2, queen h6, checkmate. After knight e2, king h1, queen h6 check, queen h2, knight g3 check, king g1, queen c1 check, rook f1, queen e3, and let's say if white played rook 1 f2, rook d7 with the idea of playing rook d1, if rook 8 f2, then rook g6 with the idea of playing rook to h6, and white is in zigzag. And that's how dangerous black's threats are. So in the game, MVL played queen d6, and Magnus played queen c1, king h2, queen g5, queen d5, queen h4, king g1, queen e7, defending the c5 pawn. At the same time, black is threatening to play knight e2, queen h5, now preventing black from playing knight e2, queen e3, queen h4, knight e2 check, king h1, queen c1, rook f1, knight g3, king g1. If white, for example, takes the knight, black can do an in-between move. Queen takes f1, rook takes f1, then rook takes g3, winning a material. So that's why in the game, white played king g1, Queen E3 and white resigned. For example, if let's say white plays rook 1 to f2, queen e1, rook f1, knight e2, that's a discovered attack against the white's queen, and king h2, queen takes h4. Okay. So what if rook 8 f2? What are we gonna do? Rook g6 with the idea of rook h6 followed by rook h1. So what are the lessons learned here? Lessons learned, or lesson to learn: in some situations, it is okay to delay developing your pieces to control key squares such as e5 in this game. Keep as fewer pawn islands as you can. When you are under attack, you want to trade pieces to diminish the attacking forces. When you are the one who's under attack, then exchange pieces so your opponent will run out of pieces to checkmate you. So thank you guys, and do not forget to subscribe, like this video, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment on what you think about the presentation and what do you guys want me to talk about next time. And please share it to your friends and post it to your social media accounts. And you can also review this game at lichess.org on the link below. And thank you for watching, guys, and please come back again for the next show.